I'm Andrew Moran, Liberty Nation's economics editor.
Very, very rocky.
Death by government.
Drain the swamp.
Hello and welcome to another installment of Liberty Nation's Swamponomics videocast. I'm Andrew Moran, Liberty Nation's economics editor. This week, South Korea's message to the bearish investors. Eat my shorts. South Korea announced on November 6 that it will reimpose a ban on short-selling shares until at least June 2024 to champion a so-called level playing field for retail and institutional investors. The government had previously removed the ban in May 2021 for trades involving companies with large market caps listed on the Kospi 200 and the Kosdaq 150 indexes. These are essentially South Korea's S&P 500 or Dow Jones Industrial Average. But the ban had remained intact for most other equities. Financial Services Commission, or FSC, Chairman Kim Joo-hun told the news briefing, quote, "The measure is aimed at fundamentally easing the tilted playing field between institutional and retail investors. Amid continued uncertainty in financial markets, major foreign investment banks have been engaged as a matter of practice in unfair trades, and we determined that it would be impossible to maintain fair trading discipline." So, how does shorting work anyway? The widespread trading practice consists of borrowing shares to repurchase at a lower price and putting the difference in your brokerage account. Essentially, you're betting that a stock is going to fall. Meanwhile, South Korea also announced that it would probe foreign banks for engaging in the illegal practice of naked short selling. This involves shorts without borrowing shares or figuring out if they can be borrowed. This is presently banned in South Korea. Now, outsiders might think this is a sound regulatory action by financial authorities in Seoul. Why should anyone have the right to bet against a stock and potentially risk financial ruin for mom-and-pop retail traders or companies in general? In the early days of the coronavirus pandemic, before the Federal Reserve fired off the mother of all monetary easing bombs, or QE forever, there had been discussions of whether the federal government should install a temporary ban on shorts to prop up the New York Stock Exchange. There had also been discussions about possibly implementing bans on short selling of regional banks during the banking turmoil in early 2023. Imagine if authorities were to engage in such market manipulation for the typical mom-and-pop trader. If life were only like that. That said, the ideas were quickly abandoned, and for good reason. Shorts are an essential tool for the financial markets. It keeps companies on their toes and ensures that they engage in strong fundamentals. Indeed, short sellers offer a vital service in the markets because they can expose overvaluation, identify crucial information that might not be available to the typical investor, or share crucial trends in a sector or company. Berkshire Hathaway CEO and Chairman Warren Buffett said in 2006, quote, "There's nothing evil per se about, in my view, about selling things short. Short sellers, the situations in which there have been huge short interests very often have been later revealed to be frauds or semi-frauds." At the time South Korea imposed shorts in 2020, Liberty Nation wrote, quote, "Unfortunately, we live in a time when misery must be equitable. Bull runs are an entitlement, and being smart is a sin. If one person suffers, then so must everyone else. You cannot profit in an environment where there is widespread distress, and a greedy Gretchen lost 30% in one day." But there's also an unintended consequence of short selling restrictions. Recent research from the New York Federal Reserve Bank found that the SEC's, or Security Exchange Commission's, emergency measures to prohibit short selling for 2 weeks in roughly 1,000 financial stocks in September 2008 had backfired. It did not slow the sell-off, and prices continued to drop. The overall market fell another 12% during the 2-week span. Kyle Bass, the founder and chief investment officer of Heyman Capital Management, might have said it best, quote, "Remember folks, when governments and management teams blame their own ineptitude on short sellers, run, don't walk." Of course, the regulatory authorities always try to find a scapegoat for whatever troubles persist in the broader financial markets. SEC Chair Gary Gensler thinks AI will eventually cause a meltdown, while Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen thinks Treasury yields are soaring because of confidence in the US economy. Does anyone really buy this nonsense? Well, in any economy, there is always a supply of suckers, and they typically reside in Washington. That's it for me this week. Please read my full Swamponomics column on the pages of libertynation.com, and be sure to check out my previous Swamponomics TV videos and interviews. Thank you. I'm Andrew Moran, Liberty Nation's economics editor.
Very, very rocky.
Death by government.
Drain the swamp.
Don't get caught up in the media madness. Join our movement for free thinking and free speech at libertynation.com. Publishing news and analysis 24/7 with original articles by our team of authors who tell it like it is. Join us each week for online TV shows, The Uprising Podcast, and Liberty Nation Radio. We believe in free thinking and free speech. We are libertynation.com.